Imagine a world where gods and heroes walk among mortals, where epic battles and divine intrigue shape the fate of humanity. Welcome to Greek mythology, a timeless tapestry of tales that has captivated imaginations for millennia. From the thunderous wrath of Zeus to the cunning strategies of Odysseus, these stories offer a window into the ancient Greek world, brimming with adventure, passion, and wisdom. Join us as we embark on a journey through the myths that have inspired countless generations, revealing the enduring legacy of these legendary sagas. Without wasting any time, let's start. Gaia, the primordial mother of all. In the beginning, before time itself took shape, there was only chaos, an infinite void of nothingness. From this chaos emerged Gaia, the personification of the earth, the eternal mother who would give birth to all life. Gaia arose from the swirling mists of chaos, forming the solid ground beneath our feet. She was the life-giving force, nurturing and sustaining all living things. Her beauty was unmatched, and her presence was felt in every rock, tree, and river. Gaia, longing for companionship, gave birth to the sky, Uranus. Together, they brought forth the Titans, a race of powerful deities who would rule the cosmos. Among their children were the mighty Cronus and the compassionate Rhea. Despite their union, Uranus grew fearful of his children's power and imprisoned them within Gaia's depths. In her anguish, Gaia conspired with her youngest son, Cronus, to overthrow Uranus. With a mighty sickle, Cronus struck down his father, freeing his siblings and becoming the ruler of the cosmos. Cronus's reign, however, was marked by tyranny. Fearing a prophecy that foretold his downfall at the hands of his own children, he swallowed each one at birth. Gaia, once again seeking to protect her lineage, helped Rhea save their youngest child, Zeus, who would later fulfill the prophecy by overthrowing Cronus and establishing the rule of the Olympian gods. Gaia's influence did not end with the rise of the Olympians. She continued to be revered as the eternal mother, the nurturing earth that sustains all life. Her story is a reminder of the power and resilience of nature, and the eternal cycle of creation and destruction. Gaia's tale is one of love, betrayal, and renewal. She is the primordial force that binds all living things, the eternal mother who watches over us all. Her legacy lives on in the world around us, in every blade of grass and every whispering breeze. Thanos was born on Saturn's moon Titan to the Eternals Alas, Mentor, and Suisan. Despite being an Eternal, Thanos carried the deviant gene, giving him a hideous appearance. He was shunned by his peers and became obsessed with nihilism and death from a young age. Thanos grew up in isolation, turning to study and reflection. His intellect surpassed that of his peers, and he delved into scientific experiments, often of a morbid nature. His obsession with death, personified as Mistress Death, a cosmic entity, began to take root during this time. As he matured, Thanos became a formidable force. He assembled an army, initially as a means of protection, but his ambitions grew. He led a rebellion on Titan, killing his mother in the process. Convinced it was necessary for his destiny, Thanos embarked on a quest for ultimate power, seeking the 6 Infinity Stones, or gems, each controlling a different aspect of existence: space, time, mind, soul, reality, and power. He journeyed across the universe, committing atrocities and building a fearsome reputation. Thanos systematically obtained each Infinity Stone, often through manipulation, force, or sheer willpower. Once he possessed all 6, he forged the Infinity Gauntlet, granting him godlike powers. In his quest to impress Mistress Death, Thanos used the gauntlet to erase half of all life in the universe with a snap of his fingers. This act drew the attention of Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers, and the cosmic entities of the universe. The Avengers, along with other heroes like the Guardians of the Galaxy, mounted a desperate struggle to defeat Thanos. After intense battles and personal sacrifices, they managed to undo the snap and defeat Thanos, though at great cost. Even after his defeat, Thanos' actions had lasting consequences. The universe grappled with the moral and philosophical implications of his deeds. Some saw him as a madman, while others considered his logic and ruthlessness a necessary evil. Thanos' story doesn't end with his defeat. In various comic arcs, he is resurrected or returns through time travel, facing new challenges and adversaries. There are even storylines where he seeks redemption or grapples with the consequences of his past actions, adding layers to his character. Thanos remains one of the most complex and intriguing characters in the Marvel Universe. His story is one of ambition, power, love, and tragedy. His eternal conflict with the universe, the heroes who oppose him, and his own inner demons make his saga a rich tapestry for storytelling. Perseus and Medusa. Once upon a time, in ancient Greece, there lived a young hero named Perseus. He was the son of Danae and the god Zeus. Perseus grew up on the island of Seriphos, under the care of King Polydectes. The king developed a deep desire to marry Danae, but she refused him. To get rid of Perseus, Polydectes devised a cunning plan. He pretended to be in love with another woman and announced he needed a horse as a wedding gift. However, Perseus, who had no horse, boldly claimed he could bring back the head of Medusa, one of the fearsome Gorgons. Instead, Medusa was a terrifying creature with snakes for hair, and anyone who looked directly at her would turn to stone. Perseus set out on his seemingly impossible quest with the help of the gods. Athena gave him a polished shield, Hermes provided winged sandals, Hephaestus offered a sword, and Hades granted him the helm of darkness, which made him invisible. With these gifts, Perseus journeyed to the lair of the Greeks, 3 ancient sisters who shared one eye and one tooth among them. Perseus stole their eye and tooth, bargaining with them to reveal the location of the Gorgons. The sisters, desperate to retrieve their eye and tooth, complied. Perseus traveled to the land of the Gorgons and found Medusa asleep among her sisters. Using the reflective shield to avoid looking directly at her, he carefully approached and, with one swift stroke, beheaded Medusa. From her neck sprang Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chryse, a giant wielding a golden sword. Perseus placed Medusa's head in a magical bag and began his journey home. Along the way, he encountered Andromeda, a princess chained to a rock as a sacrifice to a sea monster. Using Medusa's head, Perseus turned the monster to stone and rescued Andromeda. The two fell in love and eventually married. When Perseus returned to Seriphos, he discovered that King Polydectes was tormenting his mother. In a final act of heroism, Perseus revealed Medusa's head to the king and his court, turning them all to stone. With his mother freed and justice served, Perseus gave Medusa's head to Athena, who placed it on her shield as a powerful weapon. Perseus and Andromeda lived happily ever after, and their descendants became great kings and heroes. Perseus' courage, cleverness, and the favor of the gods secured his place as one of the greatest heroes in Greek mythology. In the ancient land of Argolis, near the town of Lerna, there was a dark and treacherous swamp. This swamp was the home of the Lernaean Hydra, a monstrous serpent-like creature with multiple heads. The Hydra was said to be the offspring of Typhon and Echidna, both fearsome beings in their own right. The Hydra's appearance was terrifying. It had 9 heads, in some versions, even more, and one of these heads was immortal, meaning it could never be killed. The creature's breath was poisonous, and its blood was so toxic that it could kill any living being it touched. The people of Lerna lived in constant fear of the Hydra, as it would often emerge from the swamp to terrorize the countryside, destroying crops, livestock, and even villages. The second of Hercules' 12 labors, as commanded by King Eurystheus, was to slay the Lernaean Hydra. Armed with his club and a sword, Hercules set out for the swamp, accompanied by his loyal nephew Iolaus. When they arrived, they found the Hydra lurking in its lair. Hercules began his attack by luring the Hydra out of the swamp with flaming arrows. As the beast emerged, he swung his mighty club and smashed one of its heads. To his horror, he discovered that for each head he destroyed, 2 more would grow back in its place. Realizing that he needed a new strategy, Hercules called upon Iolaus for help. Iolaus suggested using fire to cauterize the neck stumps after each head was severed. As Hercules cut off each head, Iolaus followed behind with a burning torch, searing the wounds and preventing the heads from regenerating. Working together, they managed to decapitate and cauterize each of the Hydra's mortal heads. Finally, Hercules confronted the immortal head. Knowing it could not be killed, he buried it under a massive rock, ensuring it would never again rise to threaten the people. Hercules then dipped his arrows in the Hydra's poisonous blood, making them lethal weapons for future battles. With the Hydra defeated, Hercules and Iolaus returned to King Eurystheus to report their success. The king, always looking for ways to undermine Hercules, claimed that the labor didn't count because Hercules had received assistance. Despite this, the defeat of the Hydra remained one of Hercules' most famous and heroic feats. The story of the Hydra serves as a testament to Hercules' ingenuity, strength, and determination. It also highlights the importance of teamwork, as even the greatest heroes sometimes need a helping hand to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. The Chimera. In the ancient land of Lycia, there was a fearsome creature known as the Chimera. This monstrous being was a fire-breathing hybrid with the body and head of a lion, a goat's head rising from its back, and a serpent's tail. The Chimera brought terror and destruction wherever it roamed, scorching the land with its fiery breath and devouring anything in its path. The king of Lycia, Iobates, was desperate to rid his kingdom of this terrible beast. He summoned a hero named Bellerophon, who was known for his bravery and skill in battle. To aid him in his quest, the gods granted Bellerophon a magnificent winged horse named Pegasus. Mounted on Pegasus, Bellerophon soared through the skies to find the Chimera. When he finally encountered the beast, he realized that defeating it on the ground would be nearly impossible due to its deadly fire breath and multiple heads. Instead, Bellerophon used his height advantage to attack from above. With great precision, Bellerophon rained down arrows on the Chimera, but the beast's hide was too tough to penetrate. Thinking quickly, he fitted his spear with a block of lead and flew directly towards the Chimera's lion head. As the Chimera opened its mouth to unleash a torrent of flames, Bellerophon thrust the lead-tipped spear into its throat. The intense heat melted the lead, causing it to flow into the Chimera's body and suffocate it from within. The Chimera roared in agony and collapsed, defeated at last. Bellerophon returned to King Iobates, who praised him as a hero and rewarded him for his courage and ingenuity. Thus, Bellerophon and Pegasus freed Lycia from the terror of the Chimera, and their legendary battle was celebrated for generations as a testament to bravery and cleverness in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. The Tale of Prometheus and the Gift of Fire. In ancient Greek mythology, Prometheus was a titan, a race of powerful deities who ruled during the legendary Golden Age. Unlike many of his kin, Prometheus harbored a deep affection for humanity, whom he believed deserved more than their lot. Humans, at that time, lived in darkness, ignorant of the arts and sciences, and deprived of the most essential tool for progress, fire. The supreme god, Zeus, had denied humans fire, fearing they would grow powerful and challenge the gods themselves. Prometheus, however, saw the potential within humanity. He knew that fire would bring warmth, light, and the means to forge tools and weapons. Despite Zeus's decree, Prometheus resolved to help humanity. One night, as the god slumbered, Prometheus ascended Mount Olympus and stole a glowing ember from the chariot of the sun god, Helios. Concealing the ember within a hollow fennel stalk, he descended to the mortal world and presented the gift to humanity. With fire, humans learned to cook food, stay warm in the harsh winters, and defend themselves against predators. Civilization began to flourish. Zeus soon discovered Prometheus's act of defiance. Enraged, he devised a cruel punishment. Prometheus was bound to a rock in the Caucasus Mountains, where every day, an eagle was sent to feast upon his liver, which would regenerate each night due to his immortality. This torment continued for ages, a symbol of the price of defying the gods. However, Prometheus's suffering was not in vain. His defiance had set the stage for human progress, and he became a symbol of rebellion and the quest for knowledge. Eventually, the hero Hercules, arrived and, moved by Prometheus's plight, killed the eagle and freed him from his chains, securing Prometheus's place as a savior of humanity. Prometheus's tale is one of sacrifice, foresight, and the enduring spirit of defiance against tyranny. It reminds us of the transformative power of knowledge and the lengths to which one might go to share it. The War of the Giants, Gigantomachy. After the Olympian gods defeated the Titans in the Titanomachy, the earth, Gaia, angered by the imprisonment of her Titan children, gave birth to the giants. These beings were enormous, powerful, and almost invincible, with the sole weakness being that they could only be killed by a mortal. The giants, under the leadership of Alcyoneus and Porphyrion, waged war against the Olympian gods to reclaim the heavens. The war, known as the Gigantomachy, was destined to be a cataclysmic event involving immense destruction and chaos. Alcyoneus was invulnerable within his homeland, Pallene. He attacked the gods with ferocious might, toppling mountains and causing earthquakes. Hercules, the mortal hero, was crucial in defeating him. Hercules shot Alcyoneus with an arrow and dragged him out of Pallene, where he finally perished. Porphyrion, the strongest and most fearsome of the giants, attacked Hera, intending to assault her. Zeus, enraged, struck Porphyrion with a thunderbolt, and Hercules, seizing the moment, shot him dead with an arrow. Ephialtes, another formidable giant, grew so tall that his eyes were level with the peaks of mountains. Apollo, the god of the sun and archery, shot him in one eye, while Hercules shot the other, rendering him blind and eventually killing him. Enceladus was buried under Mount Etna by Athena, causing the mountain to erupt with his fiery breath. He continued to rage, causing volcanic activity and earthquakes. The other giants, including Mimas, Polybotes, and Hippolytus, met similar fates at the hands of various gods and demigods. Ares, the god of war, displayed his martial prowess by engaging multiple giants simultaneously. Dionysus, the god of wine, and Hephaestus, the god of fire and forge, also played significant roles in the battle. The Fates, three sisters who controlled destiny, foretold that the gods could only achieve victory with the help of a mortal. This prophecy led to the involvement of Hercules, whose strength and valor were instrumental in defeating the giants. With the defeat of the giants, the Olympian gods secured their dominion over the cosmos. The fallen giants were imprisoned beneath the earth, their struggles causing natural disasters like earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. The Gigantomachy demonstrated the supreme power of the gods and the importance of divine and mortal cooperation in maintaining cosmic order. The War of the Giants is a tale of immense battles, mighty creatures, and the triumph of order over chaos. It underscores the themes of strength, bravery, and the crucial role of mortals in the divine scheme. This story, filled with dramatic confrontations and larger-than-life characters, would make for a captivating and visually stunning animated video for your YouTube channel. Would you like more details on any specific part of the story or suggestions for how to adapt it into an animated format? In the annals of ancient myth, where gods and titans roamed the earth and the heavens, Poseidon, the formidable deity of the sea, stands as a towering figure of power and mystery. Born of the mighty Titan Cronus and the wise Titaness Rhea, Poseidon was one of the Olympian gods, siblings to Zeus, the king of the gods, and Hades, the ruler of the underworld. From his birth, Poseidon's fate was intertwined with both glory and struggle. When Cronus learned that one of his children was destined to overthrow him, he swallowed each of them at birth. However, Rhea, desperate to save her youngest son, Zeus, tricked Cronus by giving him a stone wrapped in swaddling clothes. Zeus was hidden away and, when he came of age, he forced Cronus to regurgitate his siblings, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon. Once freed, Poseidon joined his siblings in the great war against the Titans, known as the Titanomachy. For 10 years, the heavens and earth trembled with the ferocity of their battles. The Olympians, aided by the Cyclopes and the Centimanes, eventually triumphed, casting the Titans into the depths of Tartarus. With their victory, the three brothers, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, drew lots to divide the realms of the cosmos. Zeus, with his supreme luck, became the ruler of the sky, Poseidon claimed the vast and tempestuous sea, and Hades took dominion over the underworld. Thus, Poseidon's reign over the oceans began, his trident, crafted by the Cyclopes, becoming the symbol of his dominion. Poseidon's realm was a place of both wonder and terror. He built his palace in the depths of the sea, a resplendent structure of coral and gems, where he ruled over sea creatures and nymphs. Yet, his temperament was as unpredictable as the waters he commanded. At times, he was calm and benevolent, creating new islands and offering bountiful fishing grounds to mortals. At other times, he was wrathful, sending monstrous waves and terrible storms to punish those who incurred his displeasure. His relationships with mortals and gods alike were marked by both passion and conflict. Among his many lovers was Amphitrite, a sea nymph who initially fled his advances. Poseidon pursued her relentlessly, sending a dolphin to persuade her to become his queen. She eventually relented, and their union produced several children, including Triton, who was part man and part fish, and Rhode, the personification of the island of Rhodes. Poseidon's liaisons were numerous and varied, leading to many notable offspring. With Medusa, once a beautiful priestess turned monstrous Gorgon, he fathered the winged horse Pegasus and the giant Chrysaor. His children were often as powerful and unpredictable as he, causing both marvel and mayhem across the world. One of Poseidon's most enduring rivalries was with Athena, the goddess of wisdom. Both gods vied for the patronage of the city of Athens. To win the favor of its inhabitants, Poseidon struck his trident into the Acropolis, creating a spring of salt water. Athena, in turn, offered the olive tree, a symbol of peace and prosperity. The citizens chose Athena's gift, and the city was named in her honor. Poseidon's ire was great, but he accepted his defeat, though the competition marked the beginning of a contentious relationship between the two deities. Poseidon's power extended beyond the sea, affecting all aspects of the natural world. His wrath could cause earthquakes, earning him the epithet Earthshaker. His anger was often provoked by human arrogance or disrespect, leading to tales of cities swallowed by the sea and heroes cursed with long and perilous journeys. Among the most famous of these tales is the story of Odysseus. The hero of Ithaca incurred Poseidon's wrath by blinding Polyphemus, the Cyclops and son of Poseidon. The god of the sea condemned Odysseus to wander the oceans for 10 years, facing innumerable perils before finally returning home. Poseidon's vengeance was relentless, showcasing the god's capacity for both great favor and terrible retribution. Throughout mythology, Poseidon's presence loomed large, a testament to the power and majesty of the sea. His stories reflect the dual nature of the ocean itself, both a source of life and a harbinger of destruction. In Poseidon, the ancients saw the embodiment of the natural world's beauty and fury, a god to be revered, feared, and respected. The complete story of Hercules. In the ancient realm of Greece, where gods and mortals intertwined, there was born a hero whose deeds would echo through the ages, Hercules, known to the Greeks as Heracles. Son of Zeus, king of the gods, and the mortal woman Alcmene, Hercules was destined for greatness from his very birth. His divine heritage bestowed upon him unparalleled strength and courage, but it also drew the ire of Hera, the jealous wife of Zeus. From his infancy, Hera sought to destroy Hercules. She sent 2 serpents to his cradle, but the infant Hercules strangled them with his bare hands. This prodigious feat was only the beginning of his legendary exploits. As he grew, so did his might and renown, until he became the greatest hero of his time. Yet, despite his valor, Hercules' life was fraught with trials, most notably the 12 labors, a series of nearly impossible tasks imposed upon him by King Eurystheus. These labors were a penance for a grievous crime committed in a fit of madness, inflicted upon him by Hera. In his madness, Hercules had slain his own wife, Megara, and their children. Seeking redemption and purification, he submitted to the will of the gods and the tyranny of Eurystheus. The 12 labors were as follows. The Nemean lion. Hercules' first task was to slay the invincible Nemean lion. Its hide was impervious to weapons, but Hercules wrestled the beast and strangled it with his immense strength. He then wore the lion's skin as armor. The Lernaean Hydra. In the swamps of Lerna, a monstrous serpent with 9 heads threatened the land. Each time Hercules severed a head, 2 more would grow in its place. With the aid of his nephew Iolaus, Hercules cauterized the necks after decapitation, preventing regrowth, and buried the immortal head under a rock. The Ceryneian hind. This elusive golden-horned deer was sacred to Artemis. Hercules pursued it tirelessly for a year before capturing it unharmed, demonstrating his endurance and respect for the gods. The Erymanthian boar. The 4th labor required Hercules to capture the ferocious boar of Mount Erymanthus. He chased it into deep snow, where it became mired, allowing him to bind and bring it back alive. The Augean stables. Augeas, king of Elis, possessed stables housing thousands of cattle, which had not been cleaned for years. Hercules diverted 2 rivers to wash out the filth in a single day, showcasing his ingenuity and strength. The Stymphalian birds. In the dense forests of Arcadia, man-eating birds with metallic feathers terrorized the land. Using brazen castanets given by Athena, Hercules startled the birds into flight and shot them down with his arrows. The Cretan bull, the magnificent bull of Crete, father of the Minotaur, was ravaging the land. Hercules subdued the beast and brought it back to Eurystheus, adding yet another triumph to his legend. The mares of Diomedes. These man-eating horses belonged to the Thracian king Diomedes. Hercules fed Diomedes to his own mares, taming them through their insatiable hunger before leading them to Eurystheus. The belt of Hippolyta. The Amazon queen, Hippolyta, possessed a girdle gifted by Ares. Hercules ventured to her realm, and though initially welcomed, Hera's machinations led to a battle in which Hippolyta was slain, and Hercules secured the girdle. The cattle of Geryon. Geryon, a giant with 3 bodies, owned a herd of red cattle guarded by a 2-headed dog and a mighty herdsman. After slaying these guardians and Geryon himself, Hercules drove the cattle across continents to Eurystheus. The apples of the Hesperides. These golden apples were a gift to Hera and guarded by a dragon. Hercules enlisted the aid of Atlas, who retrieved the apples while Hercules bore the weight of the heavens in his stead. The capture of Cerberus. For his final labor, Hercules descended into the underworld to capture Cerberus, the 3-headed hound of Hades. He wrestled the beast into submission and brought it to Eurystheus, completing his penance. Hercules' labors, though harrowing, brought him immense glory and honor. Yet his trials did not end there. Throughout his life, he faced further challenges, including battles with giants, aiding gods and mortals alike, and seeking to atone for his past misdeeds. Ultimately, his mortal life concluded with tragedy and transformation. Deceived by the centaur Nessus, his wife Deianira sent him a poisoned robe, believing it would ensure his fidelity. The venomous garment caused unbearable agony, leading Hercules to build his own funeral pyre. As the flames consumed him, Zeus intervened, granting his son immortality. Hercules ascended to Olympus, where he was reconciled with Hera and took his place among the gods, eternally enshrined as the epitome of heroism and strength. And so, the legend of Hercules, the greatest of heroes, endured, inspiring countless generations with tales of his might, valor, and indomitable spirit.
In the beginning, the world was a place of chaos, ruled by the primordial deities. From the void came Gaia, the earth, and Uranus, the sky. They bore many children, the Titans, among whom was Cronus, destined to overthrow his father. Cronus, fearing a prophecy that he would be overthrown by one of his offspring, devoured each of his children at birth. His wife, Rhea, heartbroken, sought a way to save her youngest. When Zeus was born, Rhea wrapped a stone in swaddling clothes and presented it to Cronus, who swallowed it whole. Meanwhile, she hid the infant Zeus in a cave on the island of Crete, where he was nurtured by the nymphs and the god Amalthea. Zeus grew up strong and cunning. Upon reaching maturity, he conspired with Metis, the titan of wisdom, to rescue his siblings. Metis prepared a potion that made Cronus regurgitate his swallowed children, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, and Poseidon. United, they declared war on the Titans in a great conflict known as the Titanomachy. For 10 years, the battle raged. Zeus led his siblings and the Hecatoncheirs, 100-handed giants, and the Cyclopes, who forged thunderbolts for Zeus, powerful tridents for Poseidon, and a helmet of invisibility for Hades. The Titans, led by Cronus, fought fiercely, but eventually, they were defeated and cast into Tartarus, a deep abyss of torment. Zeus, having emerged victorious, was hailed as the king of the gods. He established his throne on Mount Olympus, ruling over the heavens, the earth, and all the gods and mortals. He divided dominion among his siblings. Poseidon received the sea, Hades the underworld, and Zeus himself the sky and the earth. As king of the gods, Zeus was a powerful but complex deity. He was known for his numerous love affairs with both goddesses and mortals, fathering many offspring, including Athena, Apollo, Artemis, Hermes, Persephone, Dionysus, and the mortal heroes Hercules and Perseus. These relationships often led to conflicts and rivalries, both among the gods and with mortals. Despite his infidelities and the resulting discord, Zeus was revered as the upholder of law, order, and justice. He wielded the thunderbolt as his weapon, a symbol of his authority and power. He presided over the gods' council on Olympus and intervened in mortal affairs, often disguised in various forms to interact with humans. Zeus' reign was marked by numerous myths and legends, each illustrating his might, wisdom, and sometimes his capricious nature. He punished the wicked, rewarded the virtuous, and maintained the balance of the cosmos. Through trials and tribulations, betrayals and alliances, Zeus' story remains a testament to the enduring power and complexity of the king of the gods.
Complete story of Hades. In ancient Greece, amidst the vast expanse of Mount Olympus, there were many powerful gods. Among them was Hades, the stern and enigmatic god of the underworld. While his brothers, Zeus and Poseidon, ruled the sky and the seas, Hades' domain was the dark and mysterious realm beneath the earth. Hades was not like the other gods who basked in the light of the sun and engaged in the affairs of mortals. He preferred the solitude and quiet of his underground kingdom, a place where the souls of the dead would find their final resting place. His kingdom was vast, filled with rivers of sorrow and fire, such as the Styx and the Phlegethon, and guarded by the fearsome three-headed dog, Cerberus. Despite his fearsome reputation, Hades was not an evil god. He was just and fair, though his judgment could be stern. He ensured that each soul received its due according to their deeds in life. The virtuous were sent to the Elysian fields, a place of eternal peace and joy, while the wicked were consigned to Tartarus, a dark pit of torment. One of the most famous stories involving Hades is his abduction of Persephone, the daughter of Demeter, the goddess of harvest and fertility. Hades had fallen in love with the beautiful Persephone and desired her as his queen. One day, as she was gathering flowers in a meadow, the ground beneath her opened up, and Hades emerged in his chariot, sweeping her away to his underworld kingdom. Demeter, heartbroken and furious, searched the earth for her daughter, neglecting her duties as the goddess of the harvest. As a result, the earth became barren, and famine spread among mortals. Zeus, seeing the suffering of both humans and gods, intervened. He sent Hermes, the messenger god, to negotiate Persephone's return. However, because Persephone had eaten 6 pomegranate seeds in the underworld, she was bound to Hades for a part of each year. It was decreed that Persephone would spend 6 months with Hades as queen of the underworld and 6 months with her mother on the earth. Thus, the cycle of the seasons was born, spring and summer when Persephone returned to Demeter, and autumn and winter when she resided with Hades. Hades and Persephone ruled the underworld together, a realm of shadows and echoes. Hades, though often misunderstood and feared, played a crucial role in maintaining the balance between life and death. His story is a reminder of the inevitable fate that awaits all mortals and the justice that prevails even in the darkest corners of the world. The tale of Kratos, the god of war. In the ancient world, where gods and mortals intertwined, there lived a formidable Spartan warrior named Kratos. Born in the shadows of Mount Olympus, Kratos was known for his unparalleled strength and unyielding resolve. From a young age, he was trained in the ways of war. His heart hardened by the brutal Spartan code, Kratos served as a general in the Spartan army, leading his men to countless victories. However, his ambition and thirst for power led him to a fateful encounter with Ares, the god of war. In a desperate bid to save his army from destruction, Kratos swore his life to Ares, becoming his most powerful and loyal servant. In exchange, Ares granted Kratos immense power and the iconic blades of chaos, bound to his arms with chains forged in the fires of the underworld. Under Ares' influence, Kratos became a merciless instrument of destruction. His loyalty was absolute, until one day, Ares tricked Kratos into slaughtering his own wife and daughter. Realizing the horrific deed he had committed, Kratos was consumed by grief and rage. The ashes of his family were fused to his skin, marking him as the ghost of Sparta, a constant reminder of his sins. Driven by vengeance, Kratos set out on a perilous journey to rid himself of Ares' curse and seek retribution against the gods who had wronged him. His quest took him through the treacherous realms of the ancient world, battling mythical creatures, titans, and gods alike. To break his bonds, Kratos sought the aid of the Oracle of Delphi, who revealed that he must defeat Ares himself. Armed with this knowledge, Kratos embarked on a quest to find Pandora's box, an artifact of immense power hidden within the Temple of Pandora. Overcoming insurmountable odds and trials, Kratos finally claimed Pandora's box and confronted Ares in a battle that shook the heavens. With the power of the gods coursing through him, Kratos defeated Ares, claiming the mantle of the god of war for himself. Yet, even as a god, Kratos found no solace. The memories of his past haunted him, driving him to challenge the very fabric of Olympus. In his relentless pursuit of revenge, Kratos waged war against the pantheon of Greek gods, culminating in a cataclysmic confrontation with Zeus, the king of the gods. Their battle tore apart the very foundation of Olympus, leading to the downfall of the ancient order. With the death of Zeus, Kratos had exacted his vengeance, but at great cost. He had brought about the end of the gods and the near destruction of the world. In his final act of defiance, Kratos impaled himself with the blade of Olympus, releasing the power of hope to humanity. But the tale of Kratos did not end there. In the distant land of Midgard, among the realms of Norse mythology, Kratos found a new life and a son, Atreus. Together, they embarked on new adventures, confronting gods and monsters of a different pantheon. Kratos, now older and wiser, sought to guide his son away from the path of vengeance and towards a legacy of hope and redemption. Thus, the story of Kratos, the ghost of Sparta, transcended the boundaries of myth and legend, becoming a timeless saga of wrath, redemption, and the enduring human spirit. This retelling captures the essence of Kratos' story from the God of War game series, presented in a mythological style. The Lost Legends of Achilles. Achilles, the mighty Greek hero of the Trojan War, is renowned for his near invincibility and his fatal weakness, his heel. However, beyond his famous exploits at Troy and his tragic end, there are lesser-known stories that highlight his heroism, wisdom, and compassion. Let's journey into one such forgotten tale. Our story begins shortly after Achilles was dipped in the river Styx by his mother, Thetis. This act made him invulnerable everywhere except his heel, where she held him. Achilles grew up in Thea, under the guidance of the wise centaur Chiron, who trained him in the arts of war, medicine, and music. One day, a rumor reached Achilles' ears about a magnificent garden in the far west, guarded by the Hesperides and containing golden apples that granted immortality. Though he was already near invincible, the idea of such treasures intrigued him. Accompanied by his close friend Patroclus, Achilles set out on a perilous journey. After traversing vast deserts and dense forests, they reached the edge of the world. There, they encountered Ladin, a fearsome, multi-headed serpent that guarded the garden. Despite the serpent's terrifying appearance, Achilles bravely faced it. With swift and precise strikes, he managed to subdue Ladin, but not without receiving a venomous bite on his heel. As the venom spread, Achilles' life hung in the balance. Patroclus, remembering the teachings of Chiron, used a combination of medicinal herbs and a secret incantation to draw out the poison. Achilles' heel, though scarred, healed, but it remained his only vulnerable spot. Grateful for their courage and wisdom, the Hesperides gifted Achilles a single golden apple. However, instead of seeking immortality for himself, Achilles chose to present the apple to the Thetis, his mother, as a token of his love and gratitude for her protection and guidance. Returning home, Achilles and Patroclus were hailed as heroes. This adventure, though lesser known, showcased Achilles' bravery, loyalty, and the deep bond he shared with Patroclus. It also hinted at the hero's awareness of his mortality and his acceptance of it. Achilles' life was filled with epic battles and tragic ends, but this legend reminds us of his human side, his love for his mother, his friendship with Patroclus, and his willingness to face death to protect those he loved. These lost legends add depth to the myth of Achilles, portraying him not just as a warrior, but as a compassionate and wise hero. The legend of the Minotaur. Our story begins on the island of Crete, where King Minos ruled with an iron fist. In his palace, he kept a dark secret, a fearsome creature known as the Minotaur. This half-man, half-bull monster was born from a curse and confined within a complex labyrinth designed by the ingenious craftsman, Daedalus. King Minos had offended the god Poseidon by not sacrificing a white bull as promised. As punishment, Poseidon made Minos' wife, Queen Pasiphae, fall in love with the bull. From this union, the Minotaur was born, a creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull. To contain the beast, Minos ordered Daedalus to construct a labyrinth so intricate that no one could ever escape. The Minotaur was locked away, feeding on those unfortunate enough to be sent into the maze as a form of tribute from the subjugated cities. Every year, the city of Athens was forced to send 7 young men and 7 young women as tribute to Crete, to be devoured by the Minotaur. This cruel cycle continued until Theseus, a brave prince of Athens, volunteered to end the terror. Upon arriving in Crete, Theseus caught the eye of Princess Ariadne, King Minos' daughter. Falling in love with him, she decided to help him defeat the Minotaur. She gave Theseus a ball of thread to unravel as he ventured into the labyrinth, ensuring he could find his way back. Theseus entered the dark, twisting corridors of the labyrinth, following the thread. After a tense journey, he finally confronted the Minotaur. A fierce battle ensued. With courage and skill, Theseus managed to overpower the beast and slay it. Following the thread back, Theseus emerged victorious. With Ariadne's help, he and the other Athenians escaped Crete, sailing back to Athens where he was hailed as a hero. And so, the dreadful reign of the Minotaur came to an end, thanks to the bravery of Theseus and the love of Princess Ariadne. The labyrinth, once a place of terror, became a symbol of hope and ingenuity. The Odyssey, attributed to the ancient Greek poet Homer, is an epic tale of the hero Odysseus and his long, adventurous journey home after the Trojan War. It's a story filled with gods, monsters, and incredible challenges. The story begins with the end of the Trojan War. After 10 years of fighting, the Greeks finally defeat Troy through Odysseus' clever plan of the Trojan horse. With the war over, Odysseus and his men set sail for Ithaca, his homeland. Their first stop is the island of the Cicones. Odysseus and his men raid the island, but the Cicones gather reinforcements and attack, forcing Odysseus to flee with his ships. The journey continues to the land of the Lotus Eaters, where some of Odysseus' men eat the intoxicating lotus fruit, losing all desire to return home. Odysseus has to drag them back to the ships, and next, they encounter the Cyclops Polyphemus, a giant one-eyed monster. Trapped in his cave, Odysseus devises a plan to escape by blinding Polyphemus. As they flee, Polyphemus curses Odysseus, calling upon his father, Poseidon, to punish him. Odysseus then visits Aeolus, the god of winds, who gives him a bag containing all the winds, except the west wind that will blow him home. When Ithaca is in sight, Odysseus' curious crew opens the bag, releasing the winds and blowing them off course. They reach the land of the Laestrygonians, a race of giant cannibals who destroy all but one of Odysseus' ships and devour the crews. On the island of Aeaea, they meet the enchantress Circe, who turns some of Odysseus' men into swine. With the help of the god Hermes, Odysseus resists Circe's magic, and she restores his men to human form. They stay with Circe for a year before she helps them on their journey. Circe advises Odysseus to visit the underworld and consult the prophet Tiresias. In the underworld, Odysseus meets the spirits of the dead, including his mother, and learns of the dangers ahead. Back on their journey, they pass the island of the Sirens, whose enchanting song lures sailors to their doom. Odysseus has his men plug their ears with beeswax and ties himself to the mast to safely hear their song. They navigate between Scylla, a 6-headed monster, and Charybdis, a massive whirlpool. Scylla snatches and devours 6 of Odysseus' men. As they pass, they reach the island of Thrinacia, home to the cattle of the sun god Helios. Despite warnings, Odysseus' men slaughter and eat the sacred cattle. Helios demands revenge, and Zeus destroys their ship with a thunderbolt. Only Odysseus survives, Drifting to the island of Ogygia. On Ogygia, the nymph Calypso keeps Odysseus captive for 7 years, promising him immortality if he stays. Eventually, the gods intervene, and Calypso reluctantly lets him go. Odysseus builds a raft and sails to the island of the Phaeacians, who welcome him and listen to his tale. They provide him with a ship to finally return to Ithaca. Disguised as a beggar by Athena, Odysseus returns to find his palace overrun by suitors vying for his wife Penelope's hand. With the help of his son Telemachus and a few loyal servants, Odysseus devises a plan. Penelope announces she will marry the suitor who can string Odysseus' great bow and shoot an arrow through 12 axe heads.